fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl, coming at you with another pick a card reading. First, I would love to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things completely differently here on this channel, so with that in mind, if the message happens to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And as always, if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything that you need in the description box below. So today I had, and if you guys are wondering what those big snaps are, those big bangs in the background, they're actually acorns that are falling from the tree, and sometimes they fall in clusters and they make so much noise, and it's usually from when the squirrels are jumping around from tree to tree up there, and so they're really loud and it's not something I can control, just so you know. But this was a message that came through and it felt like it would be kind of a fun topic to tap into. Definitely get a high request for what does my boss secretly think of me, and so just trying to look at it from a little bit different places and, you know, kind of broaden that topic a little bit. So I came up with the shocking secrets your boss hopes you never realize, and I thought that would be a fun one to dig into. Remember that these are just for entertainment purposes. I like to throw these in every once in a while just to kind of give us a break and a reprieve from the really deep messages. But again, I do leave it up to Source to bring forth the messages that come in. So if Source has a deep message for you, it will come through regardless. All right, so with that, we're going to be using the Animal Spirit Oracle by Kim Krans. I just felt like this was a good one to pick from, and oh, I forgot to grab a incense. Don't worry, I have them right here. So let's go ahead and get to your prayer, and we'll get your reading underway. All right. My beloved Source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading, whether it's for the entire time or for a moment's time. Today I ask that you help us trust our intuition moving forward, that sometimes we can get so preoccupied by the people around us and the situations that are occurring in our lives that it's difficult for us to tap in and to trust those small whispers that are in the background, helping to lead us on the path of least resistance. There's been a disconnect among the collective, and I feel like that's because of all the energetic shifts that we're going through, and that's just a part of us rising our vibration into helping the collective consciousness rise up as well. It is a heavy burden to carry for those of us that have chosen to do the healing journey, that have chosen to be the pillars of positivity, that have chosen to be the light workers that bring forth your love and your grace among the collective. And sometimes it is exhausting, and so we ask at this time that you surround us in your healing light, the light of strength, a yellow light that helps us tap into our solar plexus chakra to give us the power, the courage, and the resilience that's needed as we continue to carve paths among this 3D consciousness, and as we continue to reconnect to our truest selves. As these words are spoken upon this tribe and on this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho, Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved Source. Thank you. So let me go ahead and get this set up over here. All right, let's give this a shuffle. Source, the shocking secrets that my fellow humans' bosses do not want them to realize, or hope they never realize. The shocking secrets that their bosses hope they never realize. What oracle cards are going to help us better understand this message today, Source? What oracle cards are going to help us better understand the shocking secrets their boss hopes they never realize? Okay, thank you. Source for pile number 1, what animal oracle card is going to help us better understand the shocking secrets that pile number 1's boss hopes they never realize? What oracle card is going to help us better understand this message? Thank you. All right, for pile number 2, source, what animal oracle card is going to help us better understand the shocking secrets that pile number 2's boss hopes they never realize? For pile number 2, source, what animal oracle card is going to help us better understand this message? Thank you. And for pile number 3, source, what animal oracle card is going to help us better understand the shocking secrets that pile number 3's boss hopes they never realize? For pile number 3, thank you. All right, on the bottom of the deck, the collective message. Ooh, we've got the octopus coming out. Honestly, I feel like this is a message where your boss hopes that you don't realize that they're being pulled in so many different directions, that they've got so much more on their plate than they can actually handle or that they can actually take care of, and they're constantly falling behind, and they are sacrificing a lot for them to stay up to par with the responsibilities that their job title holds. There's a lot that's going on, and they're also really, really good at bringing this smoke screen. You know, I think about when, I don't know, is it octopuses that can shoot ink, or is that just squids? But that was the image that came in, like when it was shooting ink out there and like creating a smoke screen to get away. And so they're really good at creating a lot of dramatics that people will not question their lack or their inability to do what's necessary for their work. And they do delegate some of the work, but not enough that it takes it off their shoulders. They don't want to give away too much responsibility, but they want to give away at least a little bit so that they can get things done that have been maybe put on the back burner for a long time, or have been neglected and are now in this place where we can no longer neglect this because it's becoming very apparent that it's getting neglected, and people are going to recognize this. And for you, it might feel like, oh wow, they're giving me more responsibility. For others, it might be like, again, you need my help again, right? But it's like some of you are very excited about it, others of you are not so excited about it, and it's like, are you serious? But this is for the collective, what's happening. This is something that your boss secretly hopes you never realize, and I feel like many of you have realized this, and others of you are wishing or hoping that this is preluding to getting a raise or getting a higher job position, which maybe it will, but right now I do feel like there's a lot of smoke screen in the water. There's a lot of uncertainty at play here, and there's this energy where there's just too much, right? There's just too much going on. So yeah, we have with octopus here, it says reaching, yearning, lacking boundaries and direction. So that makes a lot of sense here. It says the octopus signifies a wonderfully perceptive mind paired with a lack of healthy boundaries. So your boss could also be a people pleaser, and they don't want people to know that, to continue to take advantage of that, because they are already being taken advantage of by higher ups right now as well. Unfortunately, this results in well-intended but messy relationships. The octopus entwines itself into other people's business and shares their own without restraint. They believe that's what it means to be close. If you notice after spending time with someone that you feel drained or uneasy, the essence of octopus is at play, beginning to establish healthy boundaries. Begin to establish healthy boundaries. Be patient and firm, and it may be very old habit to change, but it is possible to change. right? When in balance, you're interested, engaged, and intelligent. When out of balance, you're needy, clingy, lacks courage. To bring into balance, space to oneself, and talk therapy, which makes sense with what energy was coming through. It's just they don't know how to take space for themselves, or they don't know how to say no. So they might be the yes person that's continuing to say, oh, higher ups are like, hey, we need you to do this, or we need you to do that. This is also someone that overshares everything. So you might know way too much about their personal life, or the higher ups know way too much about their personal life. And, you know, as a boss or someone that's in management position, that's never a good thing, because then people start to recognize when your personal life affects your professional life, instead of saying, you know, I'm going to keep these two things separate. But that's what's the feeling that's coming through here. What an interesting start to this reading. All right, so let me get these set up here. And I found my mom's little trinkets that I have. These all belong to my mom. And when we moved, I found the little box that they were in, and I was so excited because I knew the box was somewhere. It's not that I lost it, I just misplaced it. And so now I've got the box back, and I can use these in pick-a-cards again, which is exciting. So for pile number 1, we do have this dice here with Venus energy on it. Just saw a shadow being. That's interesting. For pile number 1, we have this unicorn pin for you to choose from. So that might resonate with those of you with pile 1, that you recognize shadow beings, or you're able to see when someone has a shadow being attached to them, or someone that's less than pleasant. Like if someone's being less than pleasant, like you can recognize that, oh, that's actually, they have something attached to them. But it didn't seem like super negative or anything like that. It was just like a heavy energy that just flashed really quickly, and it was very clear the shadow being. Okay, so for pile 2, we have this dice with Mercury on it. We have this cute little heart pendant. And for pile number 3, we have this dice with the 12th house on it. Or we have this little banjo pendant. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, whichever pile you felt called to, that should be the one for you. And I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Venus on it, if you were drawn to this unicorn pen, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on the shocking secrets your boss hopes you never realize. First, I would like to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And if you are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. And we do things completely differently around here. So with that in mind, if the message happens to resonate with you, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. We're going to go ahead and hop to it. I did just want to quickly mention that This is a just for fun reading. It was something that I was kind of playing on an idea because it's always highly requested. What does my boss secretly think of me? And so I just kind of wanted to come at it from a different area and a different way to approach a similar topic, but not necessarily, right? So we're gonna see what comes up today. So source, what is the shocking secrets that pile number one's boss hopes they never realize? What are the shocking secrets that pile number one's boss hopes they never realize? What would you like to share with us today, source? I love that we are referencing the 10th house in a career reading or work reading. So we've got the 10th house, Aries energy, and Jupiter. Honestly, the first energy that comes out with this is that they secretly believe that they were just lucky, that they stepped into this position and they were super lucky to get hired for it. They were unqualified for it. I feel like many of you may have already intuitively recognized this or even physically recognized that this is not someone who should have the title that they have. Whether you have a good or a bad relationship with them or a neutral relationship with them, I just do feel like there's been things that have shown up where you're like, wow, they should know how to do that. But they really secretly hope that you don't realize that they really got lucky in the hiring process. And it wasn't necessarily anything that they did. It was just something that happened along the way. They manifested this in a sense, and they really feel like they don't deserve this leadership position, that to be where they're at does take a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. But with Jupiter on the end here next to the Aries energy, it feels like they feel like this was a gift. They feel like maybe they were a shoo-in. I don't remember the term for like if you're somebody, if your parents own a business and you're like a shoo-in for a position. Maybe they felt like that happened. They were just a shoo-in for the position. I don't remember the term. I apologize, but I know there's a term for that. And that's how they feel, though. They don't feel like I actually learned how to do everything that goes along with this position. I don't really, like my status or who I am or my background is really what got me this position, not my work experience. So this could also be someone that went to school and got a degree in the position that they have, and they got hired without any prior experience. And maybe if other people have tried to get into this position as well, they're being told that they need experience. And sometimes they wake up and they're like, how did I get this position? They really are. They're just shocked that they got this position, and they're doing their best to be a leader. They're really working hard to be a leader. I do feel like they go out of their way to learn about leadership things, but this is the first and foremost shocking secret that they hope that you or anyone else, and including hiring managers, hope to never realize, because they do feel a sense of being a fraud, right? Like, they're like, I don't know how I got this. I don't know how I did this. I don't know how this happened. I feel like this was just luck at play. Like, I basically threw the dice and I landed on some sevens, and here we are. So let's dig in. Let's find out. Yeah, they really do not feel stable doing what they're doing. Like, they rely on others a lot. And your boss is in this position where they just feel as if one wrong move would cost them everything. And they do their best to really, really reach out to everybody. And I feel like maybe there's been people who are like, shouldn't you know this? And they play it off maybe as like, oh, I forgot, or I thought maybe they changed the policies. They definitely do the whole dumb blonde act, if you will. Please, no offense to any blondes. It's just that idea, right? So, source, what are the shocking secrets that pile number one's boss hopes they never realize? What would you like to share with us for pile number one? What are the shocking secrets that pile number one's boss hopes they never realize? They may even rely on you a lot as well. You may have a lot of experience in this job or in this career, and they may pick your brain from time to time, and then they may play it off as like, I'm just making sure you know what your job is, but they're really just trying to get information for themselves. They're very, very charismatic, I feel, and I feel like they're very good at feigning intelligence here. Thank you. Alright, source. The shocking secrets that pile number one's boss hopes they never realize. Thank you. On the bottom of the deck, yeah, we've got the Seven of Swords in the reverse. This is not the first time that this has happened to them either. I feel like there's been many times. They may have really benefic 10th house placements in their chart, or they may have a lot of Jupiter in their chart as well. This could be a Sagittarius, so we're talking about a Scorpio, Aquarius as well. I just feel like they are someone who knows how to manifest. And then when they manifest, they're actually really shocked about it. They're like, whoa, I actually manifested that. And they're going around waiting for someone to call them out on the fact that they don't know anything, right? They're not very grounded in the information that they need to be grounded in. But no one seems to call them out on it because it's like, well, you've already got the position, right? Like, why are we going to bother you with that? So let's see here. Yeah, I don't feel like this is the first time. The other thing is that they could be, yeah, Scorpio and Cancer energy here. This is interesting because they don't want anybody to know, or they hope that no one realizes that they've recently had a breakup or a really, really bad ending to a certain relationship in their life. And the only thing that they have right now is work. And if they lost work too, they would completely fall apart. You might have recognized your boss picking up more hours, or if you caught the collective reading in the beginning, this would make more sense too, is that maybe they're picking up even more projects. And part of that is because they don't want to deal with, or they don't want to face the hurt that they're feeling. They don't want to face the broken heart that's happening right now. They don't want to face the disappointment. They definitely feel very lost on their journey. They are not sure which way to go. They feel like everything is just flying at them, and they're doing their best to really stay not even present. Like, I don't feel like they're very much practicing mindfulness. Like, I don't really get that energy from this person. What I'm getting though is that they're really just trying to keep up. And all the while, you know when someone's tripping while they're running, but they're still running, like they're still staying up, but they're barely hanging on? Kind of like cartoonish energy, right? And that's what it feels like, that they're really just trying to hold on, and they're really wanting people to see their worth and their value, but they keep getting stuck in really bad relationships or really bad situations outside of work, and maybe even within the workplace as well. Maybe they're friends with people who are very negative. They're friends with people who are very low vibrational. You notice that this person has reoccurring patterns, and they really hope that no one realizes this. They hope that no one at work realizes that there's a lot of work connections that mirror this broken heart that they went through. And this is a huge disappointment. I feel like, again, they feel that they are lucky that they have this position, but their whole life feels like a disappointment. And that's why they're so reliant on work. Yeah, there's a lot of... okay, so they could actually have problems with alcohol. They could have substance abuse issues as well. They definitely feel like they're unable to move forward from situation. They don't feel like they have a choice, even though the choice will always be theirs. But right now they don't feel like they have a choice. So they could be fighting substance abuse as well. And if you know that, you know that, you know, there's no need to drag this out and air their dirty laundry or anything like that. This could be someone who sneaks in liquor to work and maybe has a flask that they keep close to their body, and when they steal away to the bathroom, they take a couple swigs, and when you notice when they come back, they always smell like really minty, or they've always chew gum, or they take an exorbitant amount of breaks as well. And that could also be along with that, like, how did they get this position when they're never at work? But right now, I do feel like there's personal life issues that are spilling into work issues, but it's actually affecting their job performance in a massive way, and they're really concerned about anybody recognizing that they're failing or that they're falling behind, and they don't know how to ask for help. They're very much in this place of being stuck, and life is not moving. And that's why I feel like there's this energy where they feel very lucky for the position that they have, but at the same time, they're also fearing that it's only a matter of time before anybody actually recognizes or realizes that they are a fraud. And when they lose their position, or if they lose their position, they're sitting there thinking, what am I going to have left? Like, what more is there? Because they feel really, really negative for their home life. Their personal life is up in arms right now. I do not get the sense that this person is spiritual. This is someone who's very much in a ping pong ball machine, and every time life falls apart, they're along for the ride. They don't know how to manage their emotional well-being, and they don't know how to step up into their power. And so this could have been a breakup that they didn't instigate. This could have been a breakup that someone else instigated, and now they're going down this rabbit hole of sorrow because of that. It took them by surprise. This could be a family situation that took them by surprise as well. This could be someone like a friendship or something. It took them by surprise, and they just feel like they're defeated right now. They feel very lost. And I feel like if you were to walk into this person's home, you know how in rom-coms, whenever they break up and they always show like they're sitting on the couch and they're eating tons of ice cream, and suddenly boxes of food stuff starts piling up everywhere. It becomes a total mess, and you know, they don't want to invite anybody over. They might not have showered in a while. That's kind of how this person's house is right now. It's just a disaster. And you know, I'm not saying that they're a neat freak or not. They could live in an organized mess, whatever it is. What I'm saying is that whatever is normal for this person, they have gone beyond that right now, and they're living in a complete disarray. And they feel like if anybody saw that side of them, that they would really be seen as the failure that they feel that they are. Not that this is just something that's going to happen and that's going to pass. They don't feel like that. They really feel like they're at the end of their wits right now, and that this is literally the end of life for them. And like I said, I do feel like there's something that's spilling over into work right now. So whether that is the breakup or trauma at home that is affecting work performance, or this could be substance abuse that is pouring over into work and it's starting to affect their job as well. But they just start, this is someone who's also a self-sabotager, and I feel like it just scares them that anybody that's close to them and close to their vicinity would ever find out that, like that, if they're drinking on the job, oh my gosh, if anybody found out. But they have to. It's almost like it's the addiction that keeps coming back, right? Or it could be that maybe they're addicted to pills or something like that, right? They're just trying to numb themselves from whatever it is that's going on at home, but they don't want to lose their job because it's kind of their only lifeline right now. Yeah, okay, this makes so much sense. We have house 2 here with physical security, possessions, material values, and self-worth. Their self-worth is very low right now. They do not feel very secure at all right? And this is someone who's also very reluctant to change. They're holding on to some old idea, hoping that if I hold on to this, then I don't have to face the changes of the world. And so what your boss hopes that you never find out is that they are just, they feel like a deadbeat. And they hope you never realize that. I hope that you never realize that they are very low on themselves, because this is someone who's really good at, like I said, they're feigning charisma, they're feigning stability. This is someone who they know how to play the part, but when they go to work, it's almost like they're hyping themselves up out in their car. They put on the mask and they go in and they play the part that they need to play at work as best as they can right now. And they barely make it to the end of their shift before things start cracking and falling apart. And then when they leave, I mean, it's just like they're a total mess. They might be crying in their car on their way home. It's actually really a sad energy. It's a really overwhelming energy. Honesty. Yeah, they're struggling to be honest with themselves. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. They're struggling to be honest with themselves. This is someone who just, it's easier for them to lie than it is to face the truth. Worry. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Yeah, this goes back. This is that confirmation that I was feeling like they're in a ping pong ball machine. Is that right? A pinball. It's a pinball machine where it's like ding, 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 right? And they're getting hit all over the place and they're just along for the ride. But we're learning, you know, as we continue to heal, we're learning that we're in charge of our own lives, and they do not feel that way at all. They're just kind of hoping that things are going to work out for them, but the problem is that things continue to get worse for them, and the more that things start to fail, the more that they focus on that failure, and the more that becomes overwhelming. Yeah, protection. They're trying, look at how these look like two locks, right? They look like two locks, and that's what it's like. This is on lockdown. They're doing their best to protect themselves from everybody else. They might also come across as very abrasive or brash because they are very afraid of letting people in. And they hope and pray that no one realizes that they're actually a big softie at heart. And for some of you, that might be so hard to believe. You'd be like, well, then why would they treat me like this? Why are they acting like this? And they're just replaying those traumas over and over again. It's, if I let someone in, I'm going to get hurt. And they're doing their best to keep everybody at arm's length, which is also going back to what I was saying. Like, you might notice that they are friends with very low vibrational people at work. And the reason they're friends with low vibrational people at work is because that keeps them from being honest with themselves, right? Those very superficial energies keep them in a state of like, oh, I don't have to be honest with myself when I'm hanging out with other superficial people. Gemini, change your mind. This feels like that choice energy. They don't feel like they have a choice. They don't feel like they can change their ways. They don't feel like they can change their mind. But also with Gemini, you know, you have the light and the dark with Gemini. Gemini and Pisces are the two zodiac signs that have dual natures. It's not that all the other zodiac signs don't have dual natures. It's just that they're physically seen as the dual nature. You have the two fish and you have the twins, right? And so right now, they're feeding the darkness, and the darkness is the one that's winning right now because the lightness, if that's a word, their light self is the one that they feel like they need to protect. The one that's innocent, the one that's vulnerable. So this is not someone who is vulnerable at all with anybody because it's too scary. That's too scary. And so I feel like whoever it is that broke their heart or whatever situation just ended was also a very shallow relationship, but it doesn't mean that it didn't hurt. Okay, mediator. We have gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of the argument. And we have the shadow is negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. And this is so interesting that this card came out, because that's what I was saying. I can't remember if it was a collective message or if I said it at the beginning of your reading. It was like keeping the professional separate from the personal life. Like now the personal is spilling over into the professional. And this is the only card in the deck that talks about both personal and professional life. And so I feel like that's a deep confirmation here, where it's like they're having a hard time. And do they have their own hidden ulterior motives and their own hidden agendas? Maybe. I feel like the main thing is that what Source is showing us is that their biggest issue is that they don't want people to see them failing. They don't want people to see how much they're struggling. All right, beginning, coming out. We have take the first step and start a new journey. Don't be afraid to fail, right? They're so afraid of people seeing them as failures. It says there's a future only when there is a beginning. Seize the moment, be bold, and start a wonderful life of your own. So another confirmation, they don't want to start again, right? They don't want to make a choice. They want to keep everything on lockdown because that feels safer to them. Right? We have reward and recognition. Congratulations, your hard work will soon pay off and take you in the direction of your dreams. Acknowledge your efforts and your own power. So for them to be rewarded and recognized is important, right? Again, that's that being run by the ego. And so they feel like if they get rewarded for their hard work, then they're being recognized and that validates their existence. So that's something that they hold on to. And that might be the only thing that you get to see or hear about from this person is, oh, well, so-and-so rewarded me for this. And it might seem very arrogant how they're showing up, but it's also showing, they're showing the wound. They're showing the wound right here. We have speak up. Yeah, okay. So this coming out on the bottom, that does confirm what I was feeling with the reward and recognition. It's like this is all they're talking about. It says when you're not saying what's eating you up inside, what are you not saying that's eating you up inside? You can't keep this in for forever. It's time to let it out so you can move on and be happy. So instead of facing themselves or facing the truth of what's happening, it's easier for them to be dishonest with themselves. Let's get one more card here. Two-faced. Yeah, this is that Gemini energy I was talking about. And Pisces energy, right? The light and the shadow. You have sometimes showing only part of ourselves to the world. Guard vulnerability wisely. So right now, they're only showing a part of themselves to the world that's seeking this recognition with the 10th house too. Inner connection. Listen to your inner voice in decision making and daily interactions. Trust your intuition. So again, decision making, making a choice here. They do not have the strength to make the choice for their own life. We're seeing someone who is very attached to the 3D life. That's exactly what this person is. They're very attached to the 3D life. They're very attached to the 3D outcome. And they're very attached to what their emotional ego is convincing them of. And they're living that. And it's a living nightmare for them right now. 12th house. We have spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. And we also have guilt and blame and shame connected with the 12th house as well. Oh, we see that here, right? They're in this place of not diving deep. They're in the shadow right now with the 12th house energy. Okay? And like I said, I don't feel like this person's very spiritual at all. I mean, spiritual, maybe they do manifestation. Manifestation is still possible if you don't heal. Everybody manifests things every day. People who are spiritual, people who are not spiritual, we all are manifesting something every day. And that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like this person is good at manifesting or good at creating situations where they get what they want. But then they're always having to stay with a certain hat on or with a certain suit on so that they're seen as whatever it is that they got. Cleanse. I do feel like you being in their life is helping their spirit to cleanse something, but it's also being met with a lot of resistance for them. They're just scared, and I feel like if they could be open with anybody, they'd be open with you, but I don't necessarily feel like you're in a space where you're ready or willing to be open with them, because I do get pushback on that, right, Pile One? I feel like they maybe have not been the nicest to you. And even if they have been super nice to you, I feel like you're kind of like, wow, that's a lot to hold on to. And it's not even, that's not bad. Like, I don't want you to feel guilty for that either. It's just that if this person gets an opportunity to actually open the floodgates, it's going to be a while before it stops. Yeah, Aries, blazing new trails. They could be an Aries energy. We have Libra, finding your balance. We see they're out of balance right now. And Capricorn, buckle down and get to work. A confirmation that their focus right now is on work because it's helping them to run away from facing themselves. The beggar, wow. Confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival. Awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. The shadow attribute, dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. And that's what we've been seeing here. They're depending on others to save them from themselves right now. And there's a little bunny outside that just showed up. I don't see rabbits here very often, but that's showing me that this is a cycle. This is a cyclical pattern for them. How telling. How telling. So let's take a look at this card. We're going to see what this card says. We have the camel. It's interesting. I heard dying of thirst, but it's like spiritual thirst. There's spiritual thirst here, right? And it wouldn't take much. Like, you know, camels, they can drink a little bit and they can go for forever with just a little bit of water, you know, and they'll be okay. Okay, so look at this. Resourcefulness, independent, knows oneself. The camel can handle absolutely anything as it carries wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant, handles challenges with ease, even in the face of excess heat, judgment, or anger. The camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. The camel represents the ultimate form of bringing opposites into balance, fire and water, and being responsible for one's own reactions. The camel is a wonderful traveler and especially fond of trips to faraway lands. When in balance, they're calm, content, and there's a sparkle in their eye. When out of balance, they're dehydrated and lacks vitality. Isn't that so funny? Like, I'm thirsty. I heard that so loud when I turned this over. I'm thirsty, but they're thirsty for spiritual knowledge. They're thirsty for, like, spiritual refreshment and to bring into balance a pilgrimage. So they have within them the ability to be self-reliant. But with the beggar, we have that confirmation that they're relying so much on so many other people to help them get by right now, which is why they really believe that what they've been given is lucky. And you may look at it that way too. I mean, we don't know what it is that they actually did to get to this space. We don't know the whole story. This is just a little snippet of it that's coming through right now. But this is how they feel. And this is what they secretly hope that you never realize, right? It's a shocking secret to them. Like, if everybody finds out, that everybody's going to know that I'm some sort of fraud. All right. So this is what I see here for you. If you felt like this was your reading, is there a camel emoji? Leave a camel emoji down below and say, I choose to focus on my journey, knowing that I'm capable of filling my life with love, with empathy, and also very strong boundaries. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box below. And I would like to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messages, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming through to give us this very intense message. And until next time, Pile One, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Mercury on it, or if you were drawn to this little heart pendant, or if you were drawn to this card during this shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on the shocking secrets your boss hopes you never realize. Would like to first say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey here with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time in this space with you. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things completely differently here on this channel. So with that being said, if that message happens to resonate with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. And really quickly, I just want to say, coming into this with an open mind, this is just for entertainment purposes and should be confirming your intuition, what you're intuitively already tapping into, and just getting a deeper story along with that. Pile number 1 was intense, so let's find out what's going on with you, pile number 2. So source, for pile number 2, what is the shocking secrets that pile number 2's boss hopes that they never realize? What is the shocking secrets that pile number 2's boss hopes they never realize? What would you like to share with us today, source? 10th house again. So we got the 10th house earlier on. We've got Taurus and we've got Neptune. Let me tap into this. This is interesting energy here. That they're ashamed and they blame themselves for not being further along than they are. That's interesting. Okay. They have gotten a lot of recognition in work or, you know, just in family, just for having the position that they have. Like, people have looked up to them. They may even be the kind of boss that everybody hopes to have. But they really blame themselves a lot because they pictured or imagined themselves being so much further ahead in life. Like, they genuinely feel like a good person. They feel like a very magnetic person that people like to be around, a very attractive person that people like to be around. And they appreciate that about themselves and they're aware of that. But they really are in this energy of feeling like they're not good enough or that they haven't done enough. And they really lean on this being everybody's friend or support system or listening ear, because this really does feel like someone who supports people through their job or supports people within their team. And they really pride themselves on the ability that they have to do this, but they always imagine that they would maybe own their own business, or they would be higher up in the position in the company that you guys are with, or that they wouldn't even be working at the company that you guys are working with because they saw themselves doing something else, or they have experience doing something else. They maybe want to be like, there's an energy of wanting to be an artist coming in as well. So they just always imagine they would have more freedom in their lives. And this is a shocking secret because maybe for you it's like, well, they're so good at what they do, and they've learned to be really good, and they've gained a lot of experience at what it is that they're doing. But every day they go to work and they feel this very heavy energy about how they have not followed their dreams, or they did not do what it is that they really wanted to do. And they just carry this huge sense of guilt. And to cover that up, they do their best to really support everyone there. Like, if you want to go to a different department, they support that. So they're everybody's support system. And that might be like a huge shock for many people because everybody looks up to this person. That's what this really feels like. There's an element of sorrow that's coming through that's undeniable. Let's get the tarot on it and see what comes through with the tarot. Alright, source, what is the shocking secret that pile number 2's boss hopes they never realize? And I feel like, you know, that's a burden that they choose to carry on their own. I don't feel like their family or their friends even know this. You know, again, it's almost like they've been recognized, or they've been given a lot of praise for the things that they've done in their life, or for the position that they hold. And they don't want to disappoint anybody by saying that this is not what I wanted to do. And honestly, for you, pile 2, I don't feel like if somebody said that to you, you'd be like, you should go do your dreams. I feel like you would be supportive of them as well. But they've just never had that in life. They've never had where people are willing to say, hey, it's okay to let go of something that appears to be stable to go find something that's not so stable or doesn't appear to have stability at all. And I do feel like there's like an age thing that's coming through where they feel like they're too old, or, you know, life's already passed them by. Like maybe they're getting near retirement age, or, you know, they just don't feel like they have the vitality that they had as a youth, and, you know, they're letting that stop them. There's definitely a lot of excuses coming in. While they feel valid and they seem very valid, at the same time, when we let the excuse win, we're saying that there's never an option, but there's always an option, right? Source, what is the shocking secrets pile number 2's boss hopes they never realize? Yeah, I really feel like this is someone who nurtures you and who nurtures the team a lot, who isn't, you know, they're not trying to pull one over on you. They're not trying to pull one over on anybody. They could be like a very supportive father figure in your life as well, a very supportive mother figure in your life. Yeah, it does feel like they're much older, or they just appear to have an old soul, okay? Yeah, like that's the thing with the King of Coins on the bottom. This is what they hope no one realizes. This is the shocking secret, is that they really hate their job. They dislike it. They do it because it gives them the money that they can comfortably live on, and it provides a lot for them. And for some people, that's enough, right? That's true for some people. It's like, well, you shouldn't harp at something that gives you a comfortable life because it gives you a comfortable life. But if you're miserable at it, like, why do you keep doing it? I feel like that's just where your boss is right now. They're miserable doing what they're doing, and they're trying to hold on to the one thing that everybody has tried to convince them is the reason that they're in such a good place, and they have every reason to be happy and every reason to feel like life is wonderful and amazing, and they're trying desperately to hold on to that money, the monetary gain. But for them, it's just like, it's not that big of a deal. But everybody in their life has convinced them that this is the biggest deal for them, and that now they have an opportunity, and this is a huge opportunity that they shouldn't squander and that they shouldn't let go of. And they're like dying a little bit each day inside. It's just overwhelming, or they're very bored in what they're doing. You know, they have great experience, but it's just mundane things over and over again. And it's not the kind of mundane that they look excited, you know, they look forward to. It's a little bit overwhelming. Yeah, okay, so interesting Virgo energy here with both the King of Coins and the Hermit underneath it. Definitely coming back to that energy that this is someone who's seen as an old soul, or this is someone who has a lot of wisdom. This could be someone who's worked in this position for a very long time, and they are, again, good at what they do. They show up. They never miss work. Like, this is someone who doesn't call in. This is someone who, when they take vacation, they might only take a couple of days, or they might only take the required amount of days to take so they don't lose vacation. But, you know, they've been told to enjoy this position, and yet they're stuck, not knowing how to look at this as a stepping stone forward to something that they actually really want to do. The starving artist, I heard that so loud right now. They don't want to be the starving artist. They don't know how to make a change. They feel like a lot of people trick them into believing that this is what equals happiness, is this coin, this being in this King of Coins energy, right? This is boss energy already. Whenever the King of Coins comes out, it's showing us that we're boss, right? Maybe not quite a CEO, but someone who is very high up in the company, who is has a very good, stable position, who's very lavish. Like, look at this lavish robe that he's wearing. Also is capable of supporting himself or themselves or herself. This is someone who is to the outside looking in, this is someone who's incredibly comfortable. Like, they might drive a really nice car, they might have a really beautiful home, they might have very nice clothes or very nice accessories. Like, this is something where they've made enough money that they can go and get the things that they desire, that they want, and that to everyone else appears like success. But to them, they don't feel successful, they feel miserable, and they feel very boxed in, that this is all life is wake up, go to work, come home, eat, go back, go to sleep, and start all over again. And when they were younger, they were big dreamers, and they had this idea that life was supposed to be this big adventure. Maybe they wanted to backpack in Europe, or maybe they just wanted to travel the world. This is someone who feels like they didn't get a chance to see as much of the world as they really believed when they were younger that they were going to. Yeah, okay, so they're very much in this place, and whether they seem like it or not, they actually do need approval. They need people to approve of them. This is a neurotic need for approval with the 7 of coins in the reverse. I need people to validate me. I need people to agree with me. I need people to see me, right? I need them to say that I'm doing a good job. And so they never chose to leave because everybody was saying, wow, you're in this King of Coins energy, you're a boss, like, you're making all this good money, you're doing better than everyone else. Like, why would you ever want to leave that position? And inside they're sitting there thinking like, I can't, this is something that's making me miserable, and it's making me feel like I gotta pull my hair out. And this could be someone who's recently had hair loss that's been noticeable, or this is someone who is maybe balding as well. And this is a very specific message that's coming in, but it's all been from stress. And I don't know, like, I keep getting this energy from both this Hermit and the King of Coins. Like, they're incredibly exhausted. They're just exhausted. They have no fight left in them because I'm doing what everybody says that I should be doing, but it's like all their life has left, and so all they can focus on is supporting their team or supporting the people that they work with, because it's like they're trying to be what they so desperately needed from someone else in their life. If one person had come up to them and said, hey, you know what, is this really what you want to do? And it was someone they trusted and cared about and was like, you know, we want to make sure that you're happy. If someone had said that to them, their lives would have been different, because it would have been like, wow, there's somebody who gets it. But to them, they just feel like the whole world doesn't get it, because the whole world is chasing bag. And they never wanted to be in that energy, but they somehow found themselves on the fast track to being a boss, to being in management, to being where they're at. And now they're just absolutely miserable, and they have this broken heart. And I do feel like that there's sometimes when maybe people have stated that this person is conceited, or they're arrogant, or that they feel like they're better than everyone, and that's not the case at all. They don't feel that way at all. And so maybe if even you've mentioned that, well, they act like that, that's how they have to show up to be in this boss energy. They really feel like they have to wear this persona when they go in. It's like, oh, I have Rolexes that I wear, and I wear Gucci, and I wear, Prada, and I wear Michael Kors. I've got Michael Kors bags. I've got like all these things that are super fancy. I drive a Mercedes or a Benz, or, well, I guess a Mercedes is a Benz, or Beamer is what I was going to say, right? I drive a Benz or a Beamer, and, I've got maybe a Jaguar or something like that, right? And you might be like, dang, like, they're just flying on top of the world, but money doesn't buy happiness. And they realized that a long time ago, and they feel, again, that guilt and shame that's coming through. They feel very, like, alone on their journey, because everybody has told them that money is supposed to buy you happiness. Well, they're making bag, they're making coin, and they're miserable. They're like, if money's supposed to buy me happiness, then where's my happiness? And this is the shocking secret that they hope that you don't realize, because if anybody realizes this, then they feel like all that they did was a big lie and it was for nothing, or that they're going to be called out like, you're this oddball that is the only one who's not looking for money, and how dare you. They feel like they're going to get exiled because of that. They really feel that energy coming in. Wow, it's really sad. Because I do feel like this person's a very genuine person. They're very grounded. They're very patient. Yeah, we've got the moon card flipping over here. Satisfy emotional needs, nurture the self and others. So they're very good at nurturing others. They're very good at supporting others. But this is not someone who knows how to support and nurture themselves. This is a people pleaser. We've got Scorpio, intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. Yeah, I do feel like, again, this with the Five of Coins here, this change, and this could be a change that's brought on by source that's coming, where it's helping them to purge and renew and to expose this belief that they have to fit in. But it's going to come, and it's going to be incredibly uncomfortable for them, and it could be happening right now. It could be happening in their personal life as well. And they may unintentionally be taking that out on people around them. I don't feel like they bring that to work, but they could bring that to work. But I do feel like they're taking that out on definitely family members and people who are close to them, people who said, no, like, you should be the happiest person in the world. Like, if I had your job, I would have nothing to complain about, right? This is someone who was like convinced, I have to become a doctor because being a doctor gives you the most money and it makes you the happiest having that much money. That's the type of energy that's happening right now. So this could have been being forced by parents, being forced by society, being forced by friends, being forced by all of the above. You know, feeling like there was no way out. Acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. They're not, like, this is an interesting energy to come out, right? Like, I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. And I feel like this is the change that's happening for them, is coming into this place of acceptance. But I feel like they're not accepting. And at night, they go home and they stew about it and they get mad about it. And they're just like, like, people just don't get it. They really believe that the whole world is so different from them, that everybody's just seeking money. All people want is money. And, you know, money is nice. And I know the world is run by money, but money is not the only thing. And there's so much more to life than money. And this person knew that, and they tried to live that. But again, if they're much older, right? If this is someone who's much older, they were far before their time. They were born before their time, like very ahead for their time. That's what I'm trying to say here. And the world crushed their spirit. Wow, we've probably... What can I say? Look at this image. Just look at this image. Look at all this money on top of this woman here. Look at this image. Forget the card itself. The image is so telling right now. We'll look at the card in just a second. But that's the thing. It's like, look at, she looks so free, right? She's just like, all this money. I get to roll around in it and be successful and whatever. And it's like, they have money and they would trade it all for happiness. And that makes them feel awful because everybody's told them that money should make you feel this way, but it never did. So it says the light accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. And that's what their spirit's been broken down by the world. We've seen that. And then it says places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. This is such a confirmation to come out in this reading, because this is what everyone has convinced them of, is the shadow. Places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Like, they did that because everybody else did that, right? It's like everybody's jumping off this cliff over here and they really didn't want to go that way. They wanted to go some way new, but everybody and their moms was pulling them over there, and they're like, I can't do this. But everybody said you have to. What were they supposed to do? Say no? They didn't feel like they had a choice. We have the 6th house. Get real with responsibilities. They have to be honest with themselves, but more than anything, they have to get real with themselves. They have to stand before themselves and honor the fact that this is something they don't want to do anymore. Then we have the South Node come out. Stick to your comfort zone. We see that they've stuck to their comfort zone. This is something they've been uncomfortably comfortable doing for a long time, but it's starting to reach a boiling point. And then on the bottom, look at this. We have the shadow period on the bottom. Proceed with caution. So they could be going through the dark night of the soul right now. They're definitely feeling a lot right now. And they don't want people to see them as weak or even as vulnerable. But I feel like more than anything, they don't want people to see them as weak. And them feeling the way that they feel about all this is making them feel weak. We have rejection here. This is the thing that they fear the most, is rejection. They fear if people found out that they are miserable and that they make so much money, that they would be rejected by people. Again, that neurotic need for approval is coming through. Their biggest fear is rejection. Their biggest fear is exile from society because they're holding on to that emotional ego. But they're really miserable inside. And then that's the other thing, is that they're this very sweet person. They're this very loving person, this very encouraging person. And it's almost like you see the night and day aspects of this person, right? They're very quick to nurture others. They're very quick to offer a helping hand. They're very quick to accept other people. But their biggest fear is rejection themselves. And it's like, if I can prevent others from feeling what it is that I'm so afraid of, then maybe I've done something good in the world that I don't have to feel so bad about. We have expectation flipping over here. Love or other happiness lurks just around the corner. It will be something much better than your wildest dreams. A rare opportunity, an exciting encounter with like-minded people will exceed your expectations. So I feel like do you see how this, I'm going to get another one of these, but before we do you see how this image here is this person, but they're like fading almost? They're almost invisible. I don't know if you can see that. Like they feel invisible to their expectations. The expectation was so big and so scary. And this makes me think of the strength card, right? Like they're not capable of fighting their demons because their demons look so big. But it's the expectation that looks so big and so scary. And they feel like they're fading into the darkness. Like they can't stand up to that big scary lion. What are they going to do to that big scary lion when the big scary lion is the expectation of others? Process. Okay. It's time to put those long cherished ideas into action. Yeah, they stopped pursuing their dreams. You'll soon come into contact with the appropriate individuals, circumstances, and resources. Eventually, you will experience joy as well as brand new opportunities. Trust in the process. So I do feel like Source is really bringing a change to this person's life. Like this might be something that they're secretly praying for or thinking about all the time. Like, I wish things would change. I wish things will change. Well, we know wherever our focus goes, energy flows. And so they could be focusing on it so much that change is starting with the Scorpio energy. The purge is happening. And to them, life might feel like it's falling apart, but it might be falling apart to fall into place. And so, again, they're feeling very, very vulnerable right now. Hang in there. Yeah, they're feeling so vulnerable. It says, you will encounter all kinds of difficulties on the road of life, but don't give up. Hang in there. It's like walking in the dark. Didn't I say they might be going through the dark night of the soul? Did I say that on your reading? I think I did. I'm not sure. As long as you don't stop walking, you will always welcome the light. Believe in yourself. Perseverance is victory. Yeah, they're just having a hard time calling in their own power. They don't know that they are powerful. They've accepted somewhere along the way. And acceptance isn't really the right word here. It's more or less they've resigned. They've resigned to the hope that anything else exists. This is just how things are. Look at that. We have contours of dream. Shape your dreams with the clay of your actions. Today's effort sculpts tomorrow's achievements. Mold your destiny with each choice. What they see when they look in the mirror is vastly different than who they are to the outside world. Is vastly different. They see something else and they wish they had something else. Again, they feel like they left their dreams. The mirror of reality. Isn't that funny? We see the mirror here. Wow, what a synchronicity. Right? So what they're seeing in the mirror is different. And it's like, that's the fear. If someone realizes this, then they're going to exile them. They're going to reject them. Everybody they know is going to be like, oh, they don't need that position. We need to strip them of that position because, you know, they're not looking for money. They just want to be over there and be the starving artist. That's why that came through. It says reality mirrors not what you see, but what you understand. Reflect to perceive the real. Reflection brings clarity. Again, what they're focused on, right? That focus, they're focusing on something right now, and I do feel like there's a big change that's about to happen, and the more the change comes, the more vulnerable they're going to feel, and the more irritable this person's going to get. We have vacation. A pause in routine can unveil paths to prosperity and hidden pitfalls. Watch the signs. Pause, perceive, and proceed. Yeah, so this is like a pausing to unfold. Sources heard their prayers, but they're struggling right now. I don't feel like, again, I was getting that with pile 1 too. Like, I don't necessarily feel like they're spiritual. I feel like this person does have faith, but they could be like religious, or they could just have faith that things will work out eventually or whatever. It's like, but they've just lost faith in themselves. Change. Wow. Look at that. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. So, and this is also their right to feel, right? They're struggling to feel how they feel because they're afraid of that rejection. So they don't know how to dig in and say, wow, I feel really stuck, or I feel really like people are trying to put me into a space that I don't belong into. They don't know how to feel that, because that brings up with it its own trigger that triggers this. I'm not going to be approved. People aren't going to validate my existence. And if they don't validate my existence, then what's the point of my life on this earth in this here now moment? And not that that's going to go awry. It's just that's the thought that we have when we feel like we're not validated. We're believing our emotional ego, because the emotional ego convinces us like, well, if people are rejecting you, then you don't belong. And if you don't belong, what's the point? We have Queen energy. Radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. And this is that energy that I feel like they're definitely protecting others. We have becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling, and demanding. And again, that energy that maybe people think that this person is arrogant. I don't think that they are. I just feel like they're trying to fulfill a role. And they're not very good at playing in that role, because they really do take time and space out to help others. The Saboteur. Wow, we have highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. The Shadows induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. They're in a state of self-destruction right now. And this is something they fear that people would know. It's just knowing that they don't actually care about the money. That's something they fear. It's like if people find that out, because so many people have tried to tell them that money's the only thing that there is. And they don't feel that way, and they don't think that other people feel that way. They feel very alone. They feel very alone. So we've got Turtle. Wow. You know, and the turtle carries its home on its back, right? So it's always at home. It's always got its home with it, and it's a very slow-moving energy. So this is someone who could have lived their entire life before they find out the truth of who they're meant to be. And that can be scary, a scary aspect, because when we're young, we think, oh, we're going to find our path so fast, and we're going to be 25, and we're going to have the whole world at our palms. And yes, maybe that happens for some people, but for the vast majority of us, we live a huge portion of our life before we ever figure things out. And I feel like this person's lived a huge portion of their life. Like I said, they definitely feel much older than you, or they feel like an older person. You know, they could be nearing retiring age, and that might be the change that's coming. That it's like, now I'm moving into retirement. What am I supposed to do? Like, totally didn't do anything for myself. And this change is a positive change for them, but they're not feeling that right off the bat. And so it's been a slow moving process for them their whole life, but it's been with purpose. Okay. So I cannot make this up. The first word says ancient soul. And didn't I say that for you, pile 2? Like, you might say that they're an old soul, or they've been considered an old soul their whole lives. Oh my gosh, I love that. Grounded, trusting, and at home in the self. It is wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. Like the beaver, the turtle has a strong relationship with the earth and water elements simultaneously. This helps to ground and connect them to deeper truths of life, no matter where their travels lead them. Again, that idea of travel, they wanted to see more than what they've seen, right? Turtle energies behind all great writers and storytellers. as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all the other books and begins to tell our own true tell. And didn't I say that? Like, they're trying to help everybody at work find their passions, find their truth. Like, they're trying to help others, but they have a hard time helping themselves. When in balance, they're peaceful, adventurous, and productive. When out of balance, they slow down to a halt. To bring into balance is an adventure, and I feel like that change that's happening in their life is going to be that adventure they need. Look at this orange on the turtle shell again, coming back to their right to feel. They've never felt comfortable in feeling the emotions that they feel or feeling the way that they feel. It's like, I got to keep that locked in tight, because if people find out about that, then they're gonna see that I'm some kind of, not necessarily a fraud, they're gonna see that I'm some kind of weirdo. That's what it feels like here. Like, I don't belong, and I belong so badly. And so they've locked this up tight, and it keeps coming up with a lot of different triggers. And especially when people talk about, oh, I wish I made the money that you made, and it's like, secretly they're thinking, I would give it all to you if I could just have some freedom to be myself. But they don't feel like that. And so whatever the change that's going to come for them is going to help them find freedom to be themselves. This is the shocking secret that your boss hopes you never realize. Wow, what a deep message that came through here. If you have intuitively tapped into this or felt like this resonated with you, leave the turtle emoji down below and say, slowly, our lives give us opportunities that can forever open up doors of opportunity and doors of freedom for each and every one of us. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It'll have everything you need. With that, I would like to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, or angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 12th house on it, if you were drawn to this banjo pin, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on the shocking secrets your boss hopes you'll never realize. I would like to say, first of all, thank you for those of you that continue to be a supportive part of this journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing our human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things completely differently here on this channel. So with that being said, if the messages do happen to resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. So with that, let's go ahead and hop to it. First, I would like to say that this is simply for entertainment purposes only. This should be confirming your intuition, and then maybe getting a little bit more into the story about what it is that's coming through. So just keeping that in mind, I just thought that this would be a fun reading to do. Alright, source for pile number 3. What are the shocking secrets that pile number 3's boss hopes they never realize? Source, what are the shocking secrets that pile number 3's boss is hoping they will never realize? What would you like to share with us today, source? Okay, oh, I was wondering if something like this was going to come through. We've got the 5th house, we've got Libra energy, and we have the south node, I'm sorry, the north node coming in. So, your boss likes you a lot. They really like you. They would like to ask you out. They feel like you were all meant to meet, that there's something special about you that they would really like to get to know better. There's a lot of flirting that's happening between the two of you. I was really believing this was going to come through in one of the earlier piles, but it didn't. So by the time we got here, I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's not gonna come through today, so here we go. But I was feeling like someone was like, oh, my boss has a crush on me, I already know. So here you go. Like, yeah, your boss is helping you never realize just how much they like you. They are really enamored by you, and they see you as this very balancing force that's in their life, and they hope that you never realize that, because they really are trying to come across as superficial. They're really trying to come across as like they don't care, but like they stare at you when you're not looking. You can feel eyes on you at times, or you can recognize that they go out of their way to go by the area that you work in, and you're like, you don't work over here, like what the heck, like you should be in your office, or you should be upstairs, or you should be, you know, in the garage, or whatever it is, right? And they're like, oh, you know, I just had to do something over here. There's a train, hold on just a second, it's gonna get really loud. Confirmation. They have to honk their horn whenever they go through the residential areas, and so it's like, right, literally, it's probably like less than a football field away, like a half a football field away from where I'm sitting. I can see the train going by through the trees. Yeah, so I feel like that's the energy that's coming through, is they're very enamored by you, and they would love to ask you out. There's a lot of fun, playful, flirty energy that's happening between you, and there's times when you've maybe been like, is this real? Like, am I imagining things? Like, am I hoping that this is how they feel about me? Yes, this is how they feel about you. Like, they are flirting with you. They are going out of their way to talk to you. They really feel calm and collected around you, and they're very attracted to you. Very, very attracted to you. They believe that y'all met for a reason. Okay. Y'all could be from Texas. I don't know why I'm saying y'all. All of a sudden, it's just coming through. Usually, I don't use it unless I'm in southern states. It just comes out naturally sometimes. I don't know. I can't tell you what that is. My mom was like that too. Whenever my mama got around somebody that was from a different state, she always talked like they did. And it wasn't something that she ever did consciously. It just happened. So maybe I learned it from her. Maybe it's just something that runs in our family. I don't know. They could definitely be a southern belle, or a southern gentleman is coming in as well, and they would like to share that with you. Oh, that's really cute. All right, Source, what else would you like to share with us today? The shocking secrets that pile number 3's boss hopes they never realize. And I feel like there's definitely a conflict of interest. Like, if they were to ask you out, there's a conflict of interest, and so someone would have to lose their job or get transferred, and that leaves a potential for not seeing you every day, or you seeing them every day. Yeah, and that scares them, and they don't want to, they don't know how to go about this right now. I feel like it's still pretty new, and maybe you have been flirting for a long time. You're like, it doesn't feel new. It feels like it's been happening for a while, but you know, it could be something where they realize they want to take action. That could be new, and they're trying to figure out how to do so. So what are the shocking secrets that pile number 3's boss hopes they never realize? Yeah, the 4 of Cups. All right, yeah, they want emotional stability with you. They want to grow emotionally with you. What else, Source, for pile number 3? What is the shocking secrets their boss hopes they never realize for pile number 3, Source? Thank you. What else, Source? What else would you like to share with us? The shocking secrets that pile number 3's boss hopes they never realize. Whoa, okay. We've got the Star and the 8 of Cups here. I'm gonna do it like this. Yeah, they're definitely spying on you. They definitely watch you from a distance. Okay, before we look at the bottom of the deck, though, with the 8 of Cups coming out, this is like maybe a family business that they work for, or that you work for a family business with them, or this is something that their family would not approve of if they did this, or they feel like work, you know how you have your work family, like they feel like you're their work wife or their work hubby or their work partner, and that makes them feel really good. But this, with the Eight of Cups being in the reverse, it does feel like there's definitely a sense of disapproval here. And there's a sense of not feeling like I can express myself fully here. Even though I want to build something stable with you, I'm still bound by certain constraints, because they do care about their job, and they care that you have your job, and they don't want to mess that up. They don't want to be the reason that one of you isn't working anymore, right? And they don't want you to either. They're trying to figure out a way around this. They're trying to figure out a better way to approach this situation. But it is posing to be difficult for them. Yeah, they're really in their heads about this, okay? And they don't know how to take action. With the Ace of Wands in the reverse, it's like they don't know how to proceed, and they're starting to really overthink the situation, and it's scaring them, and it's overwhelming them, and they could be a Sagittarius or a Leo. But right now, it's just this very interesting energy. They don't know how to find balance in the situation. They don't know how to find a middle ground. Like, it's fun to flirt. We can have our flirty sessions, and then all day long after they flirt with you, all they're doing is thinking about you, and it's driving them nuts because they wish that they could tell you how they felt. They want to know if you feel the same way. They're assuming you feel the same way because you flirt back with them. You could just be a flirty person, right? That's cool. You could just naturally be a flirty person, and that's what they think too. It's like, well, maybe pile 3 is just a flirty person, and maybe I'm overthinking it too. And so that's another reason why they're not taking action here. They're definitely in their heads about this. Yeah, wow. Okay. The other thing is here too is that this could be a third party situation for some, with the 6 for the Lovers coming out in the reverse, right? This is an awkward triangle situation here, but don't get crazy. Like, you'll be like, oh my God, they're with somebody. Like, this could just be pointing towards you and them, and the job is the first partner, and then the relationship between you guys would be the third party in that situation. So that's what Source is showing me. It's like the job is here, and then you guys are here at the bottom of the triangle and trying to make that work, right? You both have the same mistress, if you will, and trying to make that work without compromising one or the other. And they are really, really digging you, though. Like, they really do like you a lot. You make them feel all kinds of different ways. And, you know, if you see here with the crow is watching her from afar, right? Like, over her shoulder. Can you see him on the tree there? Yeah, so the crow here is constantly this little guide for the star figure here, Prudence, in the card. And with this, it's feeling like, you know, she's unaware. She knows that they're there, but she's also unaware that they're there. And she's more focused on whatever it is that she's working on. And there's hope here, and they feel like there's hope that this is something that's going to work out, but there's also a feeling of disapproval here. You know, this could be that they know the policies, and they know that if they were to outright say, hey, I feel like I want to take you out on a date, and if anybody found out about it at work, that you could both get in serious trouble for it. And this is why they hope you never find out about it. But I feel like the thing is they're laying it on thick. It's hard not to know. It's hard not to feel this, right? It's like, wait, hold up. You're being very clear about how you feel. And so it might pose a bit of confusion for you as well, because they might also seem distant at times, or they might seem closed off at times. And, you know, this could be because they do have somebody in their life as well for others, or you could have somebody in their lives and they're like, well, I'm not going to cross those boundaries, so we're just trying to keep it innocent right now, right? And it's like, so I know some people don't feel like flirting is innocent, but in this grand scheme of things, and for as evolved as we are now in 2025, right, flirting is definitely innocent compared to other things, right? There's no physical touching here. There's no crossing boundaries. There's maybe a little playful banter between you and them, but who's to say that you don't have playful banter like that between you and a friend, right? So that's what this feels like, and I know not everybody sits well with that, and I can appreciate that too. I know that sits wrong with a lot of people, and I'm just reminding you that this is where they're at. Okay, this is how they're feeling. It's like, well, if we can just have this great witty banter between each other, and this is at least someone I look forward to seeing every day, and if you happen to call in sick or if you're out on vacation or something, they do worry a lot about you. Like, they are wondering, hey, where's pile 3? Are they okay? You know, do we need to send someone to check on them? They haven't been here for a little while, or, you know, like, they don't, whatever the case is, they do worry about you. Like, you do pull the heartstrings for them, and right now they're just making the best of what the situation allows them to. There's not much for opportunity right now, and I feel like that's partially because they're overthinking it, and when they start to overthink it, they go down this rabbit hole, and in that rabbit hole, the thought of potentially never having you in their life, whether that's just as the friends that you are or as more, it scares them, and that makes them start to spiral out of control. And that might be the days when they're very distant, is when they're going through a spiral like that. And this is someone who feels like they deal with a lot of anxiety. They could be an air sign as well. You could be an Aries, Leo, Gemini, Aquarius, or a Libra. They could be an Aries, Leo, Gemini, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. We also do have Pisces energy and Cancer energy out as well. And there's Sagittarius energy, heavy Sagittarius energy on the bottom here. So either air or fire. But if you're not, again, that doesn't mean it's not your message. That's just showing that there's a lot of passion that's being flamed here. But there's also a lot of mind chatter that is overwhelming how to take action moving forward with this. And so I feel like they would die of embarrassment. And I know this is just a saying, right? I feel like they would feel like they'd die of embarrassment if you found out. And even if you know, like, even if you can hint at it, like, oh yeah, we flirt all the time, of course they like me, of course they want something more with me, that's okay. But like, if you actually knew how they felt, like, they would just be really embarrassed, because they don't want to be a problem in your life. Like, whether that's a problem with your family, a problem with their family, a problem with work family, a problem with, you know, maybe someone in your life, someone in their life, whatever the situation may be, it's just they don't want to cause this disruption for you, because you've been nothing but a light in their life, and they want to return that. They want to be that as well. And so they really do care about you a lot, though. It's a very deep kind of care here. And you guys could have some really deep conversations as well. You could have some really different conversations. Like, I do feel like the banter and the flirting might be different for both of you than it is with anybody else. Like, you might have some really weird banter with each other, but you guys both get it, and that's cool, because it makes it more fun that way. I get to be weird and goofy and silly, and it's cool because pile 3 is going to understand that part of me, and I get that part of pile 3. Wow. Yeah, you feel like home to them. We have the 4th house here, cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort. But this is also confirmation that family is a play at this. Like, there's family involved here. And whether that's you or them, or like I said, the work job, the job itself, the workplace itself, there is an element that family, with the 8 of Cups being in the reverse as well, that's one of the biggest factors here. And so don't want to sabotage a situation that is going to cause problems for both myself and for pile 3. Like, they are looking out for you, but it is causing a lot of anxiety for them as well. Yeah, balance. They feel like you bring this balance into their lives. We felt that with the Libra energy at the beginning. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. That's what I was feeling too. Like, they really feel free to be who they are with you. They don't worry about being goofy or silly or what it is that you might say, because you seem to get them. And you're not calling them weird, or you're not calling them deranged or unusual or anything like that. You really do get them on a deeper level. And that's something really, really appreciate. Yeah, you guys have grown together as well. Like, I feel like both of you have helped each other grow in various different ways. Wow. All right, I'm actually gonna do a little different for you, pile 3. I won't tell if you don't, okay? So you guys got my backs because I got yours, all right? All right, so on the bottom of the deck, we have the moon. Yep, cute, the cuddles. Yeah, they really, really like you. They really feel emotionally drawn to you. There's a lot at stake here, though, right? A lot of Cancer energy, too. Just the feeling of home and this feeling of wanting to protect you. Second house, know what really matters. And that's the other thing, like, you make them feel so safe and they feel like that's something that really matters. And if there are other people involved, they might not feel that safe with those people, but they also, this is not someone who's going to make a rash decision and just do what they want and potentially hurt people along the way either. This is someone who's very considerate of everybody that's involved. Like, they're incredibly considerate. It's like, even if I want this more than anything in my life, like, I'm really considerate of you, pile 3, and I'm considerate of the work situation. I'm considerate of the family that's at play here. Like, I'm not just going to jump ship and hope that things work out, right? Like, this is someone who's going to take a long time to make a decision to move forward, if ever, because they're considering the role that this could potentially play in your life, among others. We have the sun, shine, sparkle, and steal the spotlight. So this tells me, with the moon coming out on the bottom, they do see you guys as a perfect pair. But the unique thing about the sun and the moon is it's the oldest love story of all time, but they never quite ever are able to meet up, right? And it's kind of melancholy if you think about it. It's sad in a way. It's this very beautiful, deep love story, but sometimes you see the sun chasing the moon in the sky, and sometimes you'll see the moon chasing the sun in the sky, but they're never quite with each other. And I always like to think that when eclipses happen, that's the time when they get to meet each other in the sky, when the Godfather Sun and the Godmother Moon get to reunite with one another. But it's so rare that that happens. And yet in those moments, it's like when they remember that this is why it's so worth it, right? And that's just, it's I know it's getting deep already, but with the moon coming out, I do feel like that is something that's coming through here as well. And it's hard for them because they do want to fight for you, and I don't want this to seem like, oh, they don't want to put up a fight for you. No, they really do, but this is someone who's not willing to put up a fight at the cost of your life or at the cost of your livelihood. Right? This is someone who wants to see you succeed. So we did have addiction flip over here from my love deck. Toxic attachments, drugs, alcohol, obsession. Okay, so they could be dealing with a toxic attachment. You could be dealing with a toxic attachment. Again, the third party energy coming into play here. A triangle, a love triangle here. They don't want to put you in a love triangle. What else, Source? I feel like 2 more wants to come out here. That one for pile number 3. Whoa, yeah. That one flew out of the deck. Okay, on the bottom we have, yeah, between the lines and new love, honeymoon phase, childlike, move on, and new beginning, and hidden meaning, vague, speculate, and implicit. This is the thing. It's like you guys live between the lines with each other. That's it. You live between the lines because it can't be more than that right now. It just can't. And there's the various factors that are playing into that, but it has to be between the lines. And it's not like you guys are uncomfortable there. You guys are found a rhythm there that works for both of you, and it's free and it's flowing and it's fun and it's innocent and it's beautiful in that type of innocence. And they're okay with that. And I feel like in a way you might be okay with that too, but there's also a sense of resistance. Like, I want more, just like they want more, but also seeing where they're coming from, right? Like understanding that as well. And that's going to help you embrace this freedom a lot more. It doesn't have to be traditional, right? It can just be you're part of each other's lives right now. And that's what matters the most, because I feel like you both really like each other a lot. And sometimes that doesn't feel like enough for some people. Like, I have to have the relationship, but the relationship is the label. That's the confines of societal construct. Because it feels like this is something more than what labels it brings. This is something deeper. And I'm not here to put a label on it either. Like, it's not, you know, if you've been with me any amount of time, you know I'm trying to move away from labels. That's something that I've chosen to do for my channel. Because I feel like when we hold on to labels, we're actually doing ourselves a disservice by saying we have to fit into this cookie cutter version of whatever this label entails, rather than opening up to the potential of what it could be. On the bottom, reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So this could be something that they're experiencing right now. Someone from the past is coming, or someone from your past is coming. And it does feel like that's energy here. Or this is someone that is from a past life, and that's why you guys feel so connected to each other. Yeah, the 7th house. This person really likes you. Profound relationships, intimacy, and romantic partnerships. They want something more with you. Blame. Wow. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Right? And they don't want you to blame them. They don't want to blame you. They're trying to be as present as they can with what is right now, because there's nothing that either one of you can change to make this be what it is that you want it to be. It's almost like you both are along for the ride. And sometimes that's the most frustrating part of life. Ideation. Yeah, you are their inspiration. You inspire them a lot. They're watching you from afar. Like, they watch you online, they watch you at work. Like, they're definitely always watching over you. Change, regeneration, growth, metamorphosis, cycles. So there's definitely a change that's going to come to this. Now, I'm not here to say the change is something that's positive where they're going to come forward and ask you. That is not for me to say, because first and foremost, this is a general reading. And secondly, it's going to be different for everybody, but there is a change that's happening here, okay? We have hookup, one night stands, intimacy, casual relationship, and fling. This is what they don't want. They don't want just a one night stand. And maybe that's what you've been thinking. Like, oh, they flirt with me like they want a one night stand. They're flirting with you like this because they found fun in it. And they hope that you find fun in it too. You both are healing from toxic relationships. There's either they're connected to a toxic relationship, which we saw here with addiction. It's coming out again. This is confirmation. Fighting, codependent, misunderstanding, and trigger. So they're either in a toxic relationship, or you're in a toxic relationship, or you both are healing from a toxic relationship, or it's just healing from codependency of some sorts here. Divine intervention. This could be the change as well. Serendipity, the catalyst. Supernatural, and karma. So let Source do what Source does best, and that's divine intervention. We can't control it, but it'll happen as it does. So trusting in the process is vital here. We have deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I don't feel like this is them. I'm not getting that energy from them. I'm not getting that energy from you. I just feel like there's a lot at play here. Like, maybe neither one of you can be 100% honest with the other. It's like, we enjoy seeing each other at work. Let's just leave it at work because that's the safest place to leave it. You know, it's just, it feels like a safety thing here. It feels like I have to not bring this home, because bringing this home, it just opens up an array of problems, whether that's for you or for them. Like, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than either one of you can see with the other. Separation. Yeah, time apart from your partners on the horizon. So that honestly, I know we're talking about separation when it comes to love. Is like, oh, you're going through separation, you're not going to see each other, you're not going to talk to each other. But I feel like what I was talking about right now is talking about separation between work and personal life, right? Keeping it separate. We're going to just keep this at work, and that's where we're going to have our fun. And I feel like that's confirmation of exactly what I was feeling here. Getting to know each other, and that's exactly what you guys are doing. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So it's something that's inevitable. You're going to get to know each other, especially through this flirting, especially through these fun moments. Let go of control issues. This goes back to what I was saying about the label, like it having to be something more. Right now, you have to let it be what it is, because that's the only space and room that there's room that there is for. It says, allow the situation to unfold naturally. Okay, let Source do what Source does best. Honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Yeah, so there's the honeymoon phase right now where you guys get to enjoy the space of one another and doing that, right? And don't let outside toxic, I mean, this deception really feels like it's with the toxic relationships. Like, I do feel like neither one of you can really share where you're at, what you're experiencing away from work with each other, because that would just take up too much of the precious time that you have when you're with each other. And so it's like really focused on that present moment. The minute that you guys connect, you're very focused on, you know what, they're here, I'm here, let's just be here and not worry about the outside world. It could be the whole world falls away when it's the two of you together, even if it's only for 5 minutes, even if it's only for 10 minutes, even if it's for 1 minute and it's a hello. You know, it's like the whole world falls away, and just enjoying that, because I do feel like both of you have very mirrored lives, and there's this energy where both of you have been through so much. And that healing that comes with that is scary to share. That's scary to be vulnerable with other people, because we never know, is someone going to use this against me, or someone going to understand what it is that I've gone through? And this is probably the only person that is in your life right now that would truly understand what you've gone through, and you would truly understand what they've gone through. But both of you guys are in a position where you can't just open the floodgates and let that loose, right? You can't just let that out and be like, hey, this is what's going on at home and this is what I'm going through because blah, blah, blah. No, it's about enjoying that time with each other. All right, so let's see what your card is. I'm going to read this from the book, okay? Tiger. Wow. You both empower each other too. That's the other thing. And I feel like they're scared. They're scared that, like, you're going to find that out and you're going to want to leave, or you're going to want to transfer or go to a different position or job, and they're scared. And so they're doing their best to stay detached, but it's hard. It's like, I can't stay. I'm stuck on you, right? Is that a Lionel Richie song? Stuck on you? Right? I think it is Lionel Richie. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah. Lunar force. Oh, lordy lord. Confirmation, the moon. What do we talk about? Ease in the darkness and feminine energy. They're very attracted to the feminine energy that you exude, or you're very attracted to the feminine energy that they exude, okay? It says the tiger hunts at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger takes advantage of these boons. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in potent calm. There's nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your power. It says, when in balance, passionate, strong, and sensual. When out of balance, overstimulated. To bring into balance, try candle gazing, which is called Trataka. Okay, so this is all about empowering both of yourselves. Like, that's what it feels like here. But this is what there's a shocking secret of where they're at, that they are hoping you never realize. But there's also that feeling that they do feel like you've already realized that, and you're already aware of that about them, and that scares them too, because they don't want to put you at jeopardy. That's the last thing they want. They don't want to meddle in your life like that. They don't want their love for you to meddle in your life like that. Like, if there was a different place, a different opportunity, a different time, like, they would have totally came in and been like, hey, pile 3, guess what, you and me, let's go, yeah, let's have fun. But right now, it's like there's so much at stake, and they don't want to be the reason that falls apart. And they also don't want you to be the reason that all falls apart. And so that's why divine intervention is here, okay? Because this is something that's going to have to be taken care of on a spiritual level before things move forward, if they move forward. And just opening up to what it is right now. Just being present. Just be present in the moment, okay? Wow. So this was a very, very insightful reading. This is what I see for you here. If you felt like this was your reading and you've intuitively felt a lot of this, or at least that they had this crush on you, leave a tiger emoji down below and say, I let go And I allow this energy to flow and to be present with them in the moment, knowing that Source has my back, Spirit, God, the universe, whatever it is you believe in, that Source has my back and is helping me to align in the way that is best for my highest good. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. It'll have everything you need. With that, I would like to take a quick moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel Source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredibly powerful message. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.